real-life gatherings. It's the beginning of the spectrum at hanging out. Then messing around represents the beginning of a more intense media-centric form of engagement. Teens take an interest in and focus on the workings and content of the technology and media by tinkering, exploring, and extending their understanding. For example, they search for online information, experiment and play with digital and video cameras, and music, and photo editing software. In this genre, young people move between friendship-driven and more intense-driven forms of participation. And then finally, there's geeking out, which involves more expertise-centered forms of participation and involves intensive and frequent use of new and, at times, relatively obscure media. So as it is as a spectrum, you would assume that we would have some folks who would come in and they just want to hang out with their friends, and then those who will watch while others are learning something new, and then they participate in learning those new things, and then eventually they become experts, or that might be the way to work. Kimberly Boland's book is titled Teen Spaces, The Step-by-Step Library Makeover. She is essentially a member of our architectural team for this project. Some of the things that we learned as we moved through this process, when we were holding the focus group with teens, they were facilitated by Kimberly Boland, and our architects were there as well, and we learned a lot from those, because some of the things that we asked were as simple as what colors do you want to be surrounded by, or what kinds of furniture would you most like, and what kinds of software would you use, or if you were in a space like this, would you want it to always be quiet, or would you want to play games, or you name it. What would you like? And some of the things that we heard were have food. We don't want primary colors. We don't want to feel like children. We want a space where we can quietly read. We want a space where we can play on our computers. We'd love to have a gaming area, but we sometimes like to play board games. Some of us just like to draw or paint. And we'd love to be able to make our own music, or film our own presentations, or try out our plays, or work together with our classmates for the things that we're going to be doing at school. So what we heard was we want it all. And that's what we're going to give them. We are building 2 spaces. One is a teen center, and a second is a digital creativity space. And we went back and forth about this, whether or not it should be a single space, whether or not it should be 2 spaces, who should be allowed to be in either one. And ultimately what we heard from the students and their parents was, we want a teen space that can be just for teens. We want to feel ownership of it, we want to build it, we want to help you name it, we want to make it our own. But we don't want to leave out everyone else. We want them to also be able to have an opportunity to create and to have that high-end technology that we can provide at the library for all members of the Monroe County population. So we have 2 spaces. The digital creativity space will be open probably all hours that the library is open, and open to all ages. The teen center is likely to have hours that are more closely tied to the school day, and it will be for only middle school to high school students, so that they will have their own space. When we were doing some of the focus group, gathering focus group feedback, we were at the design development phase with the architects, and Christine, Sarah, and Laughlin and I